Our next thread of the day is titled, Am I the a-hole? She says, OP says, if I send gifts from my mother-in-law back to the thrift shop, am I the a-hole if I send gifts from her back to the thrift shop? She says, I have tried gently letting her know that we have too much, asking her to keep an eye out for specific things the kids need, saying thanks, but that stays here at grandma's. She just doesn't seem to get it. We see her 1 to 2 times a week, and every time she has a grocery bag full of stuff for the kids. Some things I appreciate, like she gets a few nice articles of clothing, but my daughter has 5 pairs of rubber boots, including a pair we sent to the thrift store and she repurchased. She got my little one a Tonka truck for his birthday, which was fabulous, but she also bought 6 more trucks for the yard. I try to limit toys, and especially cheap plastic toys, which the rest were. She refuses to listen to the fact that I do not want soft toys from the thrift shop in the house due to the risk of bed bugs, which she has had, and continues to buy them even if she goes with my daughter, especially if she goes with my daughter. And I'm not there. She'll bring them in, not even washed, which doesn't kill bed bugs anyways, but still, and let her play with them on the furniture. Rant over. But seriously, am I the a-hole if I just start sending her stuff back? It's a small town. She'll definitely see it there, but we are drowning in stuff. Now, this one hits a bit close to home. My in-laws also like buying just a little bit too much, but they are not quite so dedicated to it. So no, OP, I would 100% get rid of the stuff, whether it's sending it back to the thrift shop, whether it's throwing it, whether it's donating it. However you want to do it, I would not have toys in my house that I do not want in my house for any reason. I think that grandparents do this. Again, it's motivated, like it comes, the intentions are always good, you know? The road to hell is paved with good intentions, but in a slightly less dire way. So yes, the intentions are good. They want a way to, engage with your kid. They see toys, they're excited to see the grandchild play with them. And so they pick them up and they're like, oh my God, it's going to be awesome. And so on. Like, I understand the urge. I think that it comes, this is my assumption, and I don't know how old your kids are, but I think part of it is a lack of understanding exactly how to bond or play with the kids. I would want in the long run, hopefully, because my child is still very young, to push my in-laws a lot more towards experiences and, just taking the kid out to experience things rather than buying material items and that being the currency with which they interact with each other. And I also think it's really unhealthy, like especially if you see her 1 to 2 times a week and she has a grocery bag full of stuff. I think what you're teaching your kids through that behavior and the repetition of it is that every single time they see grandma, they are always going to get some gift, and that makes them really, really entitled. I don't know if you've watched Harry Potter or read Harry Potter, but it's the type of relationship that Dudley Dursley has with his parents, where, one Christmas he gets 20 gifts and then he's like, oh my God, this year I only got 20 toys, or was it for his birthday? I don't remember exactly the numbers and the event, but you could really tell that he was like, last year I got 21. Why is it only 20 this year? And then his parents were like, of course, we'll go buy some more. That's not a good thing to train into your kids. That's not a good expectation for them to have. It's not healthy for them to have. And you are well within your rights as a parent to really draw the line and say, look, I'm not good with this. What I don't understand about this whole thread is, where's your husband? And why is your husband not talking to her? How I would deal with the situation is definitely get rid of the stuff that you don't want, but I would also be a lot more direct with her in terms of this not being okay. I think this, when you say I tried gently letting her know that we have too much, you were probably a little bit too gentle. I think it's easy to ignore people when they're very gentle. I think I would go all out and say, look, mother-in-law, this is not cool. I really don't want this number of gifts. You can get them gifts for these events, for these occasions, at this type of cadence, but we are not having these types of gifts in the house, and we are not having gifts so often. We don't think that either of those are good. And then you can sit down and talk to her about why, explain to her why, if you need to explain to her why. You can tell her, hey, why do you buy so much stuff? Maybe there are other ways that you can engage and interact with our children that aren't like that. and try to push her and redirect her in that direction. Be a little bit kind about it. But no, you are not the a-hole for wanting to get rid of stuff that you don't want. Some of the comments here, yep, send it back and be obvious about it. Say, thanks, Grandma. That goes straight to the garage until we can thrift shop it. All the polite methods are failing, so just be straight up. If she actually realizes what's happening, you can simply say, I've tried talking to you several times about this, but you keep getting more stuff. We just don't have the room for it. And then the next person says, mine also brings stuff over for our baby every single time she comes over, which is once, sometimes twice a week. It's nice and I'm grateful most of the time, but she buys doubles of books and clothes that she already knows, that my little one already has, and little trinket things, which I hate, from the thrift store for something special. Today she brought around 6 pairs of socks, which is great. You can never have too many socks for a toddler. But then she said, I bought these socks because I didn't know if she had any. And see, this is when moms just get a little bit petty, just a little bit, specific statements that kind of really annoy you. Like, hey, are you suggesting that I don't buy my kids socks? You don't need to take it that way. Just those are the types of comments that I would just let roll straight over my back. But OP here actually does reply. Her daughter is 5. My daughter is 5 now, and she greets her with, what did you bring for me? Don't you have anything for me? I cannot imagine how you were okay with letting this go on for 5 years. That's an insane long amount of time, but this is long overdue as a conversation, and you should definitely get your husband to take it on if you are failing at making her change her habits. So yes, terrible habit to teach your kids, and not the a-hole for wanting to get rid of toys. And dear grandparents out there who are probably not listening to this, but if you happen to be listening to this, please be reasonable about the amounts of things that you buy for your grandchildren. We understand that your role as grandparents is to buy them lots of stuff, but also only so much stuff is necessary. And they don't need so many toys. Kids should just play outside. They don't need so many toys.